We are 6 months into 2020, so I figured it's time for an update on my no spend year. If you didn't know, I have been doing a no spend or low spend year for 2020, and obviously we're 6 months in, so I've been doing this for 6 months. If you did not see my first video on this, I will link it down below. That gives you the breakdown of the rules that I set for myself. I am going to touch on those a little bit, but everything I had planned for 2020 is in that video. This year has gone so fast, and I feel like every month just comes faster than the previous. And I obviously did not go into 2020 thinking that we would have a worldwide pandemic and then a more serious pandemic in the US. And obviously I didn't expect to go into lockdown, having to work from home, things like that. So it has definitely been interesting, and those things also had an effect on my no spend year and probably on other people's spending habits as well. I intentionally wanted to take on this challenge, the no spend or low spend. And it was interesting because a lot of people were kind of forced into that, either from, they lost their jobs or because of stores being shut down and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how people's finances, or maybe even perspective of finances, have shifted. Personally, I think this challenge has been a lot easier than I expected it to be. And of course, there's been times where I've felt tempted to buy things, and even a couple of slip-ups, which I will talk about. I know exactly what I've spent my money on, but I'm finding not spending to be quite simple. Even if I go to a store and I see something that I want, I am able to push through that. So I wanted to touch on a few main points before jumping into the things that I have spent money on that I wasn't really supposed to. The first thing is that I was gifted a number of things, quite a few things, and I feel like I'm kind of cheating in that way. But being a small influencer online, I do receive things. If you don't know, I have a second channel, my main channel, with over 13,000 subscribers, and I also have a blog where I get thousands of visitors a month. So companies do send me things from time to time, either to review or just to have. And so it's kind of like shopping, but I'm not spending any money. I just get the product for free. I received a number of things this year that obviously come in the mail, and it's a package, and it's kind of exciting. If you're somebody who likes to receive packages or likes to go shopping and you get that feeling of excitement, I guess I could kind of feel that from the things that I do receive in the mail from these companies. If I didn't receive these things, I don't think I would necessarily have spent more money this year, because it wasn't like I absolutely needed these things. It was just, offered to me, so I did receive them. But I guess it's like a nice thing to have when you're doing a no spend year. But I did want to make that clear. I did receive new things throughout this because of other people from other companies, whatever. And also, my boyfriend bought me a mattress, for example, which is not something I would have purchased this year. Obviously, those things kind of help with the the want of getting new things, but it's not like I've received millions of items. I am doing this from a place of abundance, not lack. The reason I bring this up is because a few months ago, I came across a Instagram post. I follow the hashtag debt-free community on Instagram. And so I'll see anybody's photo that they use that hashtag. And this one woman posted how she thinks that a no spend year, no spend month is basically, she straight out said it was stupid, and she thinks it's toxic and puts you into a place of scarcity. I actually commented on the photo because I completely disagree. I didn't say it angrily or anything. You can have your opinion. I don't really care. But I don't see this challenge as negative, nor do I think that it is putting me into a scarcity mindset, because I'm doing this from a place of abundance. And I think if anybody wants to do this challenge for this amount of time, whether it's months or a year or even beyond that, I think you have to do it from a place of abundance, because I was able to realize that I have enough. I have more than enough, and anything else that is added into my life is kind of just extra. And of course, my wardrobe could be more trendy, or I could have, new home decor, more home decor, excess of anything. But I have everything that I need, and that's why I think I'm able to be more successful with this challenge as well, because I'm good, This challenge hasn't put me in a scarcity mindset at all either, because I'm aware I'm doing this challenge. So it's not like, oh, I can't have that because I can't afford it. It's more so, I can't have that because I committed to this. It's not a negative thing, if that makes sense. I think society has adapted so many people to see shopping and purchasing things as a source of happiness. Like, it's almost, they say treat yourself or YOLO or whatever when they're purchasing something, because it makes them feel better in the moment. It's almost like a form of self-care these days. And I think if anything, that's more damaging. Of course, you can treat yourself or whatever, but I think this has really helped me to be more intentional with what I am purchasing, or really just thinking about something before I buy it, because I am choosing not to buy it. I would also say my perspective has shifted quite a bit. So my perspective has actually shifted for the last couple of years, especially when I started my debt-free journey. And I have a video talking about, everything about my debt-free journey if you're interested in that. But I think before, I really had this maybe egotistical mindset where I wanted to be a millionaire by 30, and I wanted a Lamborghini, and I wanted a big fancy house. And over the years, that's really shifted, and even more so over the last 6 months of doing this challenge, because I've realized that buying more things doesn't make me happier. And I have really started to learn the things that bring true value to my life. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to be a millionaire, or, having a Lamborghini wouldn't be cool or something, but it's just things, and I think a lot of people put their worth and their happiness in things and shopping and having, a certain appearance for other people. And I just don't see it that way anymore. Like, my future is gonna look way different because of this whole financial journey that I've been on, and especially because of this no spend year, because I've realized that I've put more focus on my future finance goals, wanting to save more, be financially independent, and just how I can create a better life for myself. And you don't necessarily need loads of money, because you don't need more materialistic things. It's also helped me be more creative with, not necessarily more creative, but I just think of alternatives or think of a different plan for getting something. So for example, I wanted to buy some biker shorts because I go walking every day, especially during this quarantine. And it's so hot here in Georgia, so wearing leggings is too hot. And I wanted biker shorts because like the Nike running shorts are pretty short and just uncomfortable when you're walking outside. And so I wanted to buy some, but instead of doing that, I wasn't going to anyway, but I cut 3 pairs of old leggings into biker shorts that I was going to donate anyway. So I repurposed them and love them. I wear literally a pair every single day and works for now. I also needed like some small dishes for my plants, just little, so that the water catches the water. And I was going to go to like Goodwill or something, or Dollar Tree, to pick up something to just put underneath it, because I didn't want to use my, little plates for eating, because I actually use those. But instead I asked my dad, who had a whole bunch of them, and he was able to give me more than enough, and I'm good. I didn't spend any money, and he just had them laying around. So it's things like that. Like, I'm trying to think of different alternatives, or if I need to fix something or change something, then I try to find a way for me to either borrow it or fix it or change it, whatever. Over the last 6 months, I have tried to keep up with the things that I wanted to purchase, that I was looking at or felt the urge to purchase. One of the biggest things that kept coming up for me were workout clothes, because being back on Instagram, you see a lot of workout clothes, and that was always something that I spent a lot of money on. And in the future, that's probably the area that I would invest in the most, because I spend a lot of time in the gym and being active, and I just love quality workout clothes. I'm 100% not going to buy anything this year. Like, I know that, but I have looked, and I have seen multiple launches and browsed multiple websites that I probably would buy from in the future. And so that has been something that I keep looking at. Like I said, the biker shorts I wanted to purchase, and I was looking at some, but I made them myself. And I have plenty of workout clothes, but I know that eventually I will need like different tops and different sports bras, the things that kind of get gross the more you use them. So I think it's perfectly okay to buy things. But as of right now, I have plenty. I wanted to buy a book on Ayurveda. A couple of months ago, I got really into it, and I started, practicing more Ayurvedic habits and things like that. And there was a book that I saw that had really good ratings and looked really intriguing about the topic. And if I wasn't doing this challenge, I probably would have bought it, because it was like, I don't know, 15, 12 bucks or something like that. But I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think I would care for it right now. Like, I'm still into the Ayurveda. I like it a lot. But like reading the book, would I have even read it or used it multiple times? I don't know, maybe. But I don't think it's something that would serve me right now. I wanted to buy some shoes. Again, I was influenced from Instagram, because somebody I follow posted that Target was having a buy one get one free sale on sandals that I want. So I have these pair of sandals from Target that I got like 2 years ago. So they're pretty old and they're in pretty rough shape. So these were on Target's website for buy one get one free, and they were like 10 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that, something insane. And I was like, I should just buy it, but I didn't. I did not buy it. I'm so glad I didn't. I would like the shoes, but having the discipline to not purchase those shoes makes me feel good, to be honest. It makes my bank account feel good. And really, I don't go out much. And obviously with everything going on, I've been going out even less. So it's like maybe next year I'll get them, because these shoes have been coming out each year. So it's like they'll probably be there next year and I'll be fine. So it's not even a big deal. There have been some skincare products that I wanted to purchase. Sometimes I'll like go down this rabbit hole of things I want to buy. There was like this skincare tool, but it was fairly expensive. I probably wouldn't buy it anyway, because it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I would totally use that, and then you don't. So what this has done for me is help me to think about those things, because even over the last few months, I have sold multiple articles of clothing that I purchased before for, hundreds of dollars, and I'm now selling them because I don't wear them or I don't even like them. And it's interesting because I can now see that. I see a piece of clothing and I really like it right now, but I'm able to think like, oh, I had something like this before and I didn't like it, or I probably wouldn't like it in a couple months. I just know that going forward, I'm really going to stick to staple items and really basic things like neutral colors and things that I know I love and appreciate. There have been a few things that I have purchased. I broke my rules on a couple of things, more so in the last month or two. And then there's a few things that I spent money on that I did not plan to spend money on. So the biggest one was the car that I co-signed on. I've talked about this multiple times. If you watch the video, The Worst Financial Mistake, I'll link it down below. That explains that whole thing. But that was about $3,000 of unplanned spending. But I don't really consider that like, that I broke the rules. That was just an unfortunate circumstance and I happened to pay for that. So that's fine. Same goes for parking. I've spent $34 on parking, which isn't horrible, obviously, but it's like I did not plan for that. A lot of it was parking at the hospital. I purchased stamps for $5.50, so I was not planning on that, and I did not need to buy 10 stamps. I had talked about that recently. I spent more on business expenses so far this year, which is fine. I just did not expect to be paying this much. It's obviously an investment back into my businesses, so it's like, it's fine. I bought 2 Fitbit bands because mine broke. That was $10.78. So, Obviously not something that I planned for, but I would prefer to wear my watch, so I did get replacements. I bought 2 courses. They are relevant to my niche, like what I blog about and make videos on. So I consider it more of an investment in my business, but that is one of the rules that I broke. You know, I said in my original video to not purchase courses, but that was $19.98. I did purchase BCAAs. This was in the last month. That was $19.48. Earlier in the year, I was sent BCAAs for free. I ran out and I wanted more because it helps with my sweets cravings. Yeah, they had a sale for 50% off, so I purchased them. I did get a car wash because my car was disgusting, and this wasn't something that I planned for because typically I get a free car wash after my oil changes a couple times a year, and I haven't gotten an oil change in months because I haven't driven, and so I don't need the oil change. But it was only $10. I do have sinking funds for car maintenance, so I just pulled from that, and it's not a big deal anyway because, you know, you do want to take care of your car because my car was disgusting, so it needed a cleaning. I bought some blackout curtains, which I touched on in, you know, my June budget video, and they were fairly expensive, about $60, but I ended up returning them anyway, so I got the $60 back, so that does not count. But I did have to purchase some command strips and like a curtain rod for the same purpose, obviously, and so I did spend some money on that. It was like $10-12 for everything. And lastly, I purchased some hair oil. This was like literally the other day because I needed shampoo and conditioner, so I got the shampoo and conditioner, and the same brand had a hair oil in the same scent, and it smelled amazing, and I chose to purchase it. So yes, it was an excessive beauty item, which was one of the things that were a rule to not purchase, but overall not too bad. And overall I am glad I started this challenge and am doing this challenge because it has saved me a lot of money, I think, and if I wasn't doing this, I probably would not have saved as much. I probably wouldn't have paid off as much debt, or just not made as much progress as I have made so far this year. And like I said, I haven't found it to be too difficult. I don't think the next 6 months will be that bad either. I think everybody should try a no-spend year, at least a no-spend month or a couple of months throughout the year, because it can save you hundreds or possibly thousands. If you are doing a no-spend year or a no-spend challenge at all, comment down below how it's been for you. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week.